The masks are off. The Kremlin has officially put forward new conditions for ending the war, and they are shocking in their cynicism. Taking advantage of political turbulence in Washington, Moscow has issued an ultimatum to Trump. What does Putin really want? And why are these demands being called a plan to destroy Ukrainian statehood? Right now, we will break down the points that Russia is trying to impose on the world under the guise of compromise. This is not just a ceasefire, it's an attempt to redraw the map of Europe. Watch until the end to find out what kind of deal they are trying to push Trump into and how Kyiv responded to these outrageous demands. And for more details, check out our report. You are watching the Glavred channel. I'm your host, Yevgeny Serov. Like this video and subscribe to the channel. According to Glavred, the Kremlin's rhetoric has become more hardline. Whereas Moscow used to vaguely talk about denazification, now the conditions have become extremely specific and territorial. The main demand is not just recognition of Crimea and Donbass, but the full transfer of all 5 regions Putin included in the Russian constitution under Russian control, including areas now held by the Ukrainian armed forces. But that's not all. Moscow has also started talking about a new form of neutrality. Ukraine must not only renounce NATO, but also limit the size of its army to laughably small numbers, effectively leaving itself defenseless against the next attack. Russian officials openly state any peace plan proposed by Trump must start with the recognition of the realities on the ground, which Moscow interprets solely to its own advantage. Why have these conditions been put forward right now? The Kremlin is closely monitoring statements from Trump's team, and by mentioning his name, Russian politicians are trying to create the illusion that everything has already been agreed upon with the new White House administration. However, as Glavred notes, this is more likely an attempt to raise the bar ahead of possible negotiations. Russia wants to show that it will not make concessions and demands the lifting of all sanctions as a mandatory condition for peace. Essentially, Putin is offering Trump a deal. The United States acknowledges the West's defeat, and Russia promises to consider a ceasefire. This is a direct test of Trump's resolve. Will he swallow such a challenge or respond even more harshly? In Kyiv, these new conditions are viewed soberly. Zelensky and the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry have repeatedly emphasized any trade in territories is a path to a major war in the future. Moscow's terms are not peace, but capitulation. The Ukrainian armed forces note that while politicians in Russia make loud statements, meat grinder assaults continue on the front lines. Russia is trying to seize as much land as possible before diplomacy enters an active phase. The article emphasizes the Kremlin's demands are absolutely unacceptable to Ukrainian society, and any attempt to impose such a peace could lead to an internal explosion within Europe itself, which is not ready to see Russia as the victor. The Kremlin's newly proposed terms are a strategic trap for Trump and a death sentence for global international law. Moscow wants everything at once, hoping for the West's fatigue. But history teaches us appeasing an aggressor always leads to disaster. What do you think? Will Trump accept Putin's terms, or will he propose his own, much tougher scenario? Share your opinion in the comments. We read everything. Like this video so that as many people as possible can see it. And be sure to subscribe to the channel. We are carefully following every single move in this big game right now. A sensation from global media, Ukraine is preparing for elections in the midst of war. Right now, international media are discussing insider information that Volodymyr Zelensky intends to announce the election date as early as February 24th, on the anniversary of the full-scale invasion. Is it actually true that the White House has given the government in Kyiv a formal ultimatum? And why exactly did Ukrainska Pravda rush to deny it so quickly? Today we will break down what is really behind these strategic information leaks, and when Ukrainians will actually head to the polls for the next election. Watch until the end. This plan could change the course of the entire war. And for more details, check out our report. You're watching the Glavred channel. I'm your host, Yevgeny Serov. Like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy our content. According to a report by the Financial Times, which is based on information from its own sources, the Trump administration is allegedly insisting that Ukraine conduct presidential elections and hold a national referendum regarding a peace agreement by May 15, 2026. Journalists have stated that this condition is directly connected to the United States providing security guarantees to Ukraine. Zelensky is reportedly planning to present this plan on the 4th anniversary of the full-scale invasion. Western officials claim that the referendum should confirm the people's support for any peace agreement with Russia, while the elections are meant to reset the legitimacy of the government ahead of a new stage in diplomacy. President Zelensky's inner circle responded to these publications immediately. According to sources in the president's office as well as RBC Ukraine, they have effectively denied any readiness or intention to announce elections on February 24th. Kyiv's main argument remains unchanged. As long as there is no security, there will be no announcement of elections. The official position of Bankova is that holding a national vote under shelling and without the return of millions of refugees is technically impossible and illegal under martial law. In the president's office, the Financial Times article is seen as a continuation of political games surrounding the peace process, emphasizing that Ukraine is ready for democratic procedures, but only after a real ceasefire is established and the security of all citizens is ensured. Holding elections before May is a task bordering on the impossible. To do this, the Verkhovna Rada would have to amend the electoral code and possibly even the constitution already in March or April. The main risk is legitimacy. If millions of Ukrainians abroad and hundreds of thousands of soldiers on the front lines are unable to vote, the results of the election could be challenged. Nevertheless, work in parliament is ongoing. A working group has already been created to prepare the legislative framework for elections during a special period. Elections in Ukraine in 2026 are no longer a question of if, but of when and how. The pressure from Washington is obvious, but Kyiv's position on security remains unshakable. This upcoming February 24th will finally be the true moment of truth. Will we actually hear a historic statement? Or was it all just another calculated media attack? We would love to hear what you think about this. Should elections be held before the end of the war to confirm trust in the current authorities? Please share your opinion in the comments below. Like this video and subscribe to our channel to be the first to find out what the president will say on the upcoming anniversary of the war. See you soon.